Hello everyone, welcome back to the Maverick channel. Now today we want to look at the difference between these three projects, Fetch.AI, Ocean Protocol, and SingularityNET. Now, sometimes first of all, we know that Fetch.AI partnered with an organization that has interests in Ocean Protocol, so in a way that kind of links them. But these protocols have been developed over time, some from 2017, some from 2018, and they've had their own developmental process. And I think they're converging, reaching that point where they feel like they might need each other, or they feel like they're not really in competition with each other. So that's what we want to look at today, because we don't want to be caught up in maximalism. I think we need to find a middle ground between libertarianism and utilitarianism when it comes to these projects. So let's jump into it. First, one way to support this channel is to hit that subscribe button and that like button. It's great motivation for me, and it knows you guys are paying attention and watching and loving this content. Let's move on. So what do these projects have in common? That's the first question we have to ask, and by asking that question we can know what differences they have, and hence we know the relationship that they have now and in the future. So they all focus on artificial intelligence and machine learning. They focus on data democratization and monetization. They all focus on the idea of open source and decentralization. I actually love that about these projects. They're really fronting that idea of open source and decentralization. They have staking as well for all of them. All the three projects, you can stake their tokens to earn a reward. And they all have a marketplace. Now, for Fetch.AI, their marketplace focuses on the autonomous economic agents. So they have search and discovery. You can go in there and search for a particular agent that has a use case that you might want, because the purpose of these agents is to automate processes. And the Ocean Protocol, you can search for machine learning and data. For instance, I publish an article, and this article states exactly how you import an API of a particular platform, what the code is that you need to do, what's SDK you use, what coding you need to apply to use, C++, Python. So I compile a well-written, neatly packaged document of instructions of how to import an application into your website, into whatever you're building, and I post this on Ocean Protocol, and you buy that data. Or I can find big data, organize it, curate it, publish it. I say, guys, this is data about this. If you're interested, this is a price I'm selling it. It's right there. So that's the focus of Ocean Protocol. So Fetch.AI, autonomous economic agents. Ocean Protocol, people sell the actual data or these documents that they're publishing. Then for SingularityNET, its main focus. Now, guys, we have to note that these platforms will change and diversify and evolve into other use cases. But as of now, SingularityNET, their focus is selling actual applications that are centered around machine learning and AI. So, for example, you want to buy, someone makes an application that detects faces. Maybe they used OpenCV or they use convolutional neural networks, and they publish it on SingularityNET. They put it out in the marketplace, and that's what you buy. Of course, there's some more details about that, but those are the main differences. So the main unique features of these platforms, despite having those similarities, is actually similar to what we defined in the marketplaces. Now, Ocean Protocol has really gone the whole 8 yards with decentralized finance. The same way you have a decentralized exchange that has a pool of tokens, that has liquidity farming. You earn from fees, and you earn from other tokens by providing liquidity in those particular pools. You're incentivized by earning extra on those tokens that are specific to those pools. So that's what Ocean Protocol is doing. So essentially, you have data, or you have a particular set of data. You can issue this data in a decentralized way, and that data is represented by tokens. So if I, as a consumer, I'm not interested in the data, like I love the data you published, I know this data is going to be popular, but I don't want to buy that data. What am I going to use it for? I don't have any infrastructure, I don't have an organization. So with Ocean Protocol, essentially you can place the Ocean token with that data, or in the future they want to create stablecoins, you can place a stablecoin with that data, but that data is not the actual data, but the token representing that data. So you're participating in a liquidity pool of a stablecoin and that data, which is safer when it comes to things like impermanent loss. Or you can use the Ocean token itself and the token representing that data. And so you receive the fees on that data. So people trading that data, you receive fees, and you also receive extra incentive tokens with that data. So these guys they're going all out in creating a DEX that is centered around data. So I didn't know this. That's pretty big, guys. That's pretty big. Then for Fetch.AI, we know it's autonomous economic agents. So these are like modules. If you look at data modules, tiny, or I like calling them tiny, but you can't really quantify them. It's software. So with Fetch.AI, it's these agents that contain data, pre-programmed data, and logic that allows them to evolve the way they think and make autonomous decisions. So that's the main focus, among other things that Fetch.AI has created, like the environment, like a decentralized delivery network. The main focus is these autonomous economic agents. And SingularityNET, their main focus is linking developers and businesses and individuals. So it links that relationship. So for instance, you go to the marketplace and you find that there's data out there in the marketplace in Ocean Protocol. But so there's a use case, there's an application, but you don't have that application, but you need that application. So you can actually publish what you need. A developer out there sees what you need and they start developing. So as they're building that application, you're incentivizing them using these SingularityNET tokens, which are the AGIX tokens. So those are the key differences about these platforms. And by looking at those differences, we are aware that these platforms are not in competition with each other because they're seriously engaging and putting a lot of time into building these marketplaces and creating these. For example, I can go to Ocean Protocol, buy data from the marketplace, use that data to create an application, sell it on the SingularityNET, then build a Fetch.AI agent that allows to automate the process of searching for what data I want and searching for an application that corresponds to that data between these different platforms, and then make a purchase or start creating a trade within that, or optimizing the decentralized finance nature. Like we saw, Fetch.AI recently created a stop loss agent. So you can create a stop loss agent on the Fetch.AI network that interacts with the Ocean Protocol network and helps with impermanent loss and other things that come with decentralized finance. So there's so many use cases that these platforms can really become a powerhouse when they work together, even if they don't necessarily sit in a board meeting to work together, but they can solve so many problems, or the consumers can utilize these technologies or these tools that these technologies are building to solve the problems that they have. So after that long-winded speech, because I really needed to summarize what the differences with these projects and the idea that they're not competing, let's run through very quickly these websites that you kind of see what these projects are doing. So when you open Ocean Protocol, the first thing you see is the definition. Ocean Protocol unlocks the value of data. Data owners and consumers use Ocean Market app, so we're going to see that app, to publish, discover, and consume data assets in a secure, privacy-preserving fashion. So Ocean holders stake liquidity to data pools. Developers use Ocean libraries to build their own data wallets, exchanges, and more. So they're creating that open source nature. You can build your own marketplace, you can build your own wallet, you can build your own exchange using the tools that Ocean Protocol is providing. And something similar is being done in Fetch.AI and SingularityNET. So Ocean data tokens, which we've talked about, they turn data into data assets. And this enables data wallets, data exchanges, and data co-ops by leveraging crypto wallets, exchanges, and other decentralized finance applications. So, I mean, the website further explains or digs deeper into what this all means. It explains the whole point of data, and you can look at the news and different articles that have been published on this by these people. I mean, I'm very proud of what these guys have done. They're clearly not just messing around. They know there's a business around this, and they're trying to capitalize on that. When you go to the marketplace, this is what you see exactly. So some of this data is actually being sold at high prices. You can see, for example, you can see these product pages of one to this whatever products on Amazon.com. I think it's, you can buy this data and have access to these product pages and use them for whatever you want. Maybe you have an online shop or whatever. I don't know. Depends on what you want. So there's different data that's being published here. Some of it is curated, and then they go on to explain, well, for example, you can see on this page here, they say that their focus is a decentralized exchange. That's tuned for data. And guys, that I think that's very interesting. And you can also use them to, you can see here, publishing a data set amounts to initial data offering. So we know initial coin offerings, then we know Binance did initial exchange offerings. Now these guys are doing something referred to as an initial data offering. So you could have your nicely curated data about a specific thing. Maybe you're a hospital, maybe you I don't know, you do something to do with mountain climbing, so you have this data about different regions that are very prime for mountain climbing or whatever. So you have this data and you do want offerings that this is the data we're going to provide. So these are some of the use cases that can be seen here. That this explains earn on your data. So it's the same thing. So if you understand decentralized finance and what I explained before, it's the same thing: staking, selling, farming your data, earning liquidity tokens. And so essentially here, tools to build data markets and manage ERC20 data. So these extra data tokens, Ocean Protocol and SingularityNET are highly Ethereum centered, but they understand the issues that come with scalability and all that. So most of these tokens will be ERC20 tokens. Your data is represented in ERC20 tokens. So and the smart contracts, the underlying smart contracts in the Ocean Protocol, they're also Ethereum-based smart contracts. But when you go to their roadmap, you realize that since they understand this, they want to use, by the way, guys, Polygon Network. They want to use Polygon Network to reduce the Ethereum gas fees. And I think mostly for Ethereum gas fees, they must be having something else in the cooking up for scalability and making things faster. Because if you're doing something to do with data, things need to be faster. So guys, essentially, that's it. I was going to look at the collaborations. We can see Mobi here. There's Fetch.AI, but no, guys, the point is the technology. So next, and we don't have a lot of time. So next is SingularityNET. I've already summarized what they do. So when you come to their marketplace, when you come to their website, what you see is the AI marketplace. So similarly to Ocean Protocol, you can go to marketplace. The difference is here, you can actually buy actual products. For example, the other one is data. So like I don't know what's called, like a skeleton. I mean, there's no flesh to it. And here it's actual applications that have been built. Of course, there's some issues to that. If you want to download the application, I don't know if I open an example. If you want to download an application, you have to download the code, then download the software development kit, then compile that application, so it's not that because it's really hard to just build an open source, an application out there that has a perfect graphical user interface, especially the fact that these platforms are new. The people that are experimenting with them are programmers that don't have a lot of funding, but they have the technical know-how. So they're also experimenting. So maybe with time, as more people download these applications and fund these programmers, they'll build better solutions, better graphical user interfaces. So I think this is absolutely amazing. And then you can see the AI publisher. Our publishing infrastructure provides both a central hub for creating, editing, and managing your AI services and the tools to launch those services on a global market. So those that are familiar with platforms like the OpenSea on Ethereum, where you can buy NFTs on OpenSea, you can create your own marketplace. I mean, you can utilize their marketplace to create your own store. So it's the same thing here. They have their tools, they have their store, so you can use that to to manage all this that you can see. Then the staking, of course, as we've talked about, you can stake the AGIX tokens and you earn a reward from that. The importance of staking is making the network stronger. Proof of stake, that's the whole idea. So, but I think this is done through a smart contract because Ethereum itself is not yet migrated onto proof of stake. Then you can request for an AI. So this is big. This is very, very important. So if you come to the marketplace and you have a specific use case that you're looking for and you don't find it, you can request that. So different programmers look at your request and they offer to build this. So as they build this, so I think there'll be maybe a rating system for different programmers. Companies will set up around this. So companies like, we can do this, and you pay them in the Ocean tokens, in the SingularityNET tokens. And as they build your application, they're getting paid and they're building what you need. And you have what you need without having to search Google or go out there. Everything is perfectly placed here, packaged here. Then the last one about this, the other products that they're building is leveraging is the Meta marketplace. Now the purpose of the Meta marketplace is, like, for example, in OpenSea, you can actually create your own marketplace. You can utilize their store, but you can also create your own store. Like there's also there's things like Shopify, so you can create your own drop shipping store. So similarly here, you can actually use their tools to create your own store that's organized in the way you want. So and it's utilizing these tools, but it's organized, it's focused for your particular niche and what you need and your customer base. You change, I don't know, colors, whatever, everything is customized for what you need. So this is a document. Of course, I'm not going to read it, but this is a focused, highly focused part of the website that helps to summarize all those products that we just talked about. So this is dev.singularitynet.io/documents/concepts/overview/AI consumer/developer. So it's really, you don't need to read the white papers. You can just come here and get the summary of what they're trying to do and what they're doing. And they also talk about scalability because they understand the issues behind scalability. There's somewhere where, they use this thing called a daemon client. So they're trying to use that, and multi-party escrow contracts and atomic unidirectional channels for payments. So they're trying to implement all that to fix some of the issues that Ethereum has, like scalability and of course high transaction fees. And I want to show you guys an example of the marketplace. So you see everything is more graphic. There's colors there, so you're not just getting you can also get data as well, but I see it focusing more on the graphical user interface, the higher level of that data. Then beyond that, the neatly packaged, very beautifully looking packages or applications that are built from that data that you can get from Ocean Protocol. And of course, their documents page, even Ocean Protocol has a documents page to help you with the tools if you want to understand them better, and their roadmap. Ocean Protocol was good on their roadmap, and if you look at SingularityNET, they've also been really good on their roadmap. They've not missed a step. And I truly have a whole newfound respect for these new projects. And like, who am I to judge that these projects aren't going to be anything? I can see the focus. I can see the laser focus. I can see the hard work that has been put into these projects. And of course, guys, I've talked about Fetch a lot, so let me just read this in their own words. Artificial intelligence for blockchains. Fetch.AI is building an open access tokenized decentralized machine learning network to enable smart infrastructure built around a decentralized digital economy. So we know they've had so many partnerships, and you can see some of the applications here. Open framework, search and discovery. We've talked about that their main focus is these agents, so you can program them and pretty much they do what they want. Now, with the issue of scalability and interoperability, the difference with Fetch.AI is that Ocean Protocol and SingularityNET are still on Ethereum, and I'm sure, of course, their businesses, so they will plan out to solve that problem in a better way. Fetch.AI decided to really migrate onto the Cosmos network. So they're still maintaining their relationship with Ethereum because they're really focused on that interoperability, and that's where the liquidity is. That's where Ethereum is the king of DeFi. But they also know that there's very beautiful tools that are on the IBC, on the Cosmos ecosystem, like the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol, the Tendermint, and if you combine all that, it allows that beautiful interoperability with all these ecosystems. So they have the thing about Fetch.AI is that they have these autonomous agents, and it's not just SingularityNET. Actually, I forgot to mention, they also have agents. So for example, SingularityNET, if you know, the CEO of SingularityNET is the same guy behind the project that's behind Sophia, that robot, that AI robot Sophia. So the purpose of agents in the SingularityNET is, for example, if you see Sophia, that robot, she can have an agent. Let's call it Agent A. So let's call her she as well, because she's portrayed as a lady. For those gender neutral people, this is not a political channel, guys. Let's just make things simple. So she has tokens that she pays to that Agent A. For example, if you want to request Sophia to read a website and decipher a video from a website, pays a transaction to agent A pays a transaction to agent B that has that capability of deciphering and decomposing or whatever, doing that to a video, looking at a website, and then agent C compiling what agent B has done and then feeding back that information in a relay type of situation back to Sophia, and then Sophia gives you back that information. Of course, these are lightning speed operations. So that's the whole idea. So it creates that utility. It also uses those agents to connect that virtual world to the physical world with these machines. But the difference with Fetch.AI is that there is our autonomous economic agents. So they've not only built these agents, but they've also built dynamic environment. They've built a dynamic environment within which these agents can fully understand themselves and communicate themselves. It's like when you put a human on Mars without anything, it doesn't really help. So they've created an environment where these agents can interact with each other, they can search for each other, and they can speak at the same level in the same language that they understand. Anything changes within that environment because it's a dynamic environment. They can understand what is going on and make the perfect or the most perfect decisions on behalf of their owners and on behalf of whoever's created them, or wherever they've been embedded, in a stop sign, in an autonomous vehicle, in a supply chain, in fruits, because you want to track their temperature, in a thermometer, whatever. So they have that environment within which they can communicate. They've built a search and discovery where they can search for themselves. So those are some of the use cases. So the focus is these autonomous economic agents, decentralized delivery network. So we've talked about these things, and the video is not to focus on Fetch.AI, but to see these differences. And so their token, the use cases for their token, the main use cases, just like we've seen for Ocean and SingularityNET, is that if you're building, because they have the interoperability, so you can build an agent and say, I want these agents to interact using Ethereum, or using XRP, using some other token, using Bitcoin. So you can do that. But to build and connect agents onto the network, you need the Fetch token. To train and deploy your agent on the Fetch network, you need the Fetch token. And to deploy oracles and DeFi use cases, like the application we saw that Fetch.AI just released, I actually use that application. You need Fetch tokens, and so they're creating this utility of the Fetch token in that sense. So to interact, to create agents, to make them usable, to deploy them, to use other applications that that are being built by Fetch, but since it's heading towards decentralization, other applications that will be built by other people, you need the Fetch tokens. That's the use case around the Fetch token. And of course, this is a beautiful page. And if you're out there, you can go to this website, fetch.ai/technology/#AEAs, where you can have a very well written summary of the whole Fetch.AI ecosystem. Because if you go out there and you try to search for this information, it's way too much. So they've talked about their decentralized random beacon, which is another beautiful thing that we don't talk about. It's I think they wrote it here, but I can't find it right now. But essentially, it's to help with the random number generation. And you all know that getting random numbers is such a complicated thing. So the fact that they've built that, and that helps with security and some other things, you can find it on this webpage. I can't find it right now. So it essentially summarizes the whole Fetch.ai ecosystem on that page that I just mentioned. And of course, they showed us their roadmap here, which they've been following since their inception, and it has kept evolving, and they've built these beautiful use cases, and they've actually showed us these use cases. They've showed us that the DeFi agent works, and they've showed us that they're also about to show us how there's a collective learning suite that they're building, which is centered around training machine learning data and sharing weights in an autonomous and data privacy preserving manner, because they have that GDPR focus. All these platforms have to have it, because there's that data privacy that's really, really required by different institutions, and individuals need that, especially if these platforms are decentralized and they're democratizing data and finance. So guys, that's what I wanted to show you today. I really hope you learned something. I certainly did. As always, I learned a lot by actually looking at this, because I found a newfound respect. I already respect Fetch.ai because I talk about them a lot, but I have a newfound respect for SingularityNET. I have a newfound respect for Ocean Protocol as well, because these platforms are building actual use cases. They're actually providing value in this space. There are people out there that have an interest in data and they want to find how to sell their data. They know how to calculate all these machine learning algorithms and properly write. Maybe there could be a PhD student out there that has a paper and they want to sell it. So these platforms are actually creating a space where all this can happen. DeFi in data. So hope you enjoyed this video today. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.